go to the movies is the film based off of the Cartoon Network series that was released back in 2013 and gets bashed on by a lot of people. I don't even enjoy the show myself necessarily. It was a disaster for a reboot to the original Teen Titans, which is a fantastic series to a lot of people, and there are some people who like the show, but I guess the cult following isn't that high. But in this film, the story revolves around Robin and the Titans. Their dream are to become movie stars, apparently. And in order to do that, they need to show that they can become superheroes while finding an arch nemesis known as Slade. And apparently trying to show their figure as superheroes to a director who makes movies about DC superheroes. And I didn't really have any necessarily high expectations on walking into this movie, considering I don't necessarily much care for Teen Titans Go, but I gotta say, walking out of this movie, this was a pleasant surprise. This movie really did surprise me, honestly. There are a lot of elements in this movie that are really entertaining and fun, honestly. The animation is really decent, actually. It's not terrible, because I've seen worse when it comes to animation when you can compare it with film. But the animation in this movie is really decent. It's the same exact animation as the TV show. It's just literally a 1-hour episode of Teen Titans Go, but I actually like this film. It surprised me. It really did. I don't love the film though. I do have issues, and I will get into that soon in this review. But let's talk about the elements that I did like about this film. In my opinion, this isn't a film that that's just for kids. Adults can get a kick out of this film too. It almost reminded me of like the Lego Movie, because it had so many clever elements to it. It had the poop and fart jokes, but it also had stuff for adults there to enjoy too. And other references, not just superhero references, but a couple of references. If you are paying attention and watching this movie, you will catch a couple of references that don't even involve superhero stuff, and I absolutely adored that. I absolutely loved what this movie was going for. The humor that was brought into this film, some of the action scenes were really fun. The characters are somewhat likable. They're the same exact characters as were in the show. And they added some musicals to this movie, which I could have lived without. But some of the songs, in my opinion, were somewhat catchy. But I thought they were just a little like over the top sometimes when they were singing some songs, but they weren't terrible, because some of them were catchy and stuff like that. I caught myself jamming to some of them, and I was like, why am I dancing to this? And I actually took my sister to see this too. She loved it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. Like I said, I have some problems with it. Let's talk about the characters. There's nothing new about any of the characters. Robin, Starfire, Beast Boy, Cyborg, and Raven, they're the exact same characters as they are in the show Teen Titans Go, but they are a little entertaining in this movie, and I think that's what got me into enjoying the movie. That each character had entertaining moments. They even had some emotional core moments, which I didn't expect out of this movie, surprisingly. But it was really, really refreshing for me to actually watch this movie and be surprised and not knowing what's going to happen once I walked in this movie. Let's talk about the villain Slade. Really funny villain. I loved the Deadpool references, and this is not a spoil because it's in the trailer technically, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen this trailer. It has like over millions of views on YouTube right now, and the Deadpool references are really funny. Yeah, I really loved them. They were flat out hilarious. They were clever too. Like I said, they didn't have just DC references. There are some like references from other universes like Marvel and stuff like that. And all the other superheroes in this movie, like, you can see a lot of them, like Wonder Woman, Batman, obviously, Superman, The Flash. They're all there. Like, everyone is just all in one film, and they're not like always in every scene, but you can tell, like, there's a certain scene, which I'm not going to say where it takes place, but it's a scene where you can tell, it's a scene where every superhero is in one in particular room, and you can tell that each superhero has their point. You can tell why they have a purpose to be in this particular room. And when the Titans come in here, they technically feel like outcasts, and they're trying their best to be heroes so they can be a part of, so they can have their own film. Technically Robin, because he's been having this big dream for a while. And the direction in this film is really okay pacing, in my opinion. Some of it did drag, and this brings me to my issues with the movie. My issues with the movie are technically the poop and fart jokes. I don't necessarily have an enormous problem with it. It's just that sometimes they do go over the top, like mostly during when the first act is going to end all the way down to the second act. I think that's when the poop and fart jokes kicked in, and it didn't necessarily like go for me. Like, I'm like 16 years old, and I technically don't like, I like jokes that are clever, and this movie does definitely have jokes that are clever, and I did laugh like sometimes and stuff like that, but I just didn't really care about the poop and fart jokes and stuff like that. And also the character development in this movie, I do like the character development enough. It's just not like amazing, just like how you could put character development in other movies and stuff. But overall, the character development is nowhere near bad or terrible. I think it's good. It's just not amazing. Like, these characters don't necessarily have you can't necessarily get invested that much in these characters in other animated movies, like Disney movies and stuff like that. But overall, the characters are likable. They're just not lovable, in my opinion. But I got into them quite a little bit. And the story was fun. Like I said, Slade is a very funny villain. He's not gonna be like one of the greatest villains in any animated movie. He's just a funny villain. Fun enough. He's somewhat clever. I'm not gonna say any of the elements that are in this movie that involve Slade, but they are funny enough. And there are even elements directly from the show of Teen Titans Go, which involve the Titans themselves. But anyway, and I also have to talk about the ending credit scene. Yes, it is true. Teen Titans Season 6 will be coming soon, and I will review it. But I want to try to review Season 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of Teen Titans before Season 6 comes out, which I have no idea when that's going to come out. But I'd have to say Teen Titans Go to the movies was really a surprise for me. And this is coming from a person who doesn't much care for the TV series, along with many other people, apparently. It's not really one of the best cartoons at all, in my opinion, but the movie was a surprise for me. I'd have to say it's a plus for me, because if you guys are not necessarily a big fan of the show, and if you hate Teen Titans a lot, and if you think it's the worst thing ever, don't watch this movie. But if you don't care for Teen Titans, and you wouldn't necessarily say you hate them, I guess you can. I'd recommend you watching this movie, and you might actually be surprised, because I was definitely surprised by this movie. There are a lot of elements to like about it, and there are some elements that don't necessarily need to be in the movie. But overall, I had a good time with Teen Titans Go to the movies, and I'm gonna give it a B. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Look forward to more future reviews that I will be doing on this channel. You guys are the best. Love every single one of you. Keep on tuning into my content, and stay tuned for other movie reviews that I do. And thank you guys so much for watching, always. And as always, I am MarioFan520, and I will see you next time. Peace out.